today is a day, well, it's Wednesday, and with a terrible opening introduction, I'm going to be talking about my predictions, hopes for Pokemon 2019, also, or 2000, or Gen 8. It's probably, they have said that Generation 8 is going to be Pokemon 2019, so it's, unless they change their mind, but that's just not what I can't do anything about that. But these are going to be, well, 10 more realistic one. I put it in the column reality, and just 10 ones that I'd love, I don't actually think would actually come true. But you about that. So anyway, the reality group, I'm going to just do the first reality ones and then go on to the dream ones. And yeah, started then. Basically, the first one I've put down is 100 new Pokemon. Yeah. A Pokemon would like to introduce approximately around, it depends really, before Generation 5 they were releasing about 100, between 100 and 150, more 40-ish, I don't know, about 140-ish, but when it hit Generation 5, they decided they're going high with 156, I think, or 159, I'm not sure, one of the two, and that was great. I like a lot of Generation 5 Pokemon, not all of them, there are obviously exceptions, but there's some of them quite good, but anyway, and then they decided, oh, we maybe did a bit too much, ooh, and basically they decided we're going to cut down on them. Sadly, Rara isn't here either, so I've just picked up Snorlax so I can just talk about Pokemon with him, because obviously he's a Pokemon. Anyway, and yeah, so I've always thought 100 is a good amount, because it's not like too little, because Generation 6 I had about 70, and then they were about 80, I think, in Generation 8, 7 even, and yes, I think Generation 8 would definitely be good for about 100, doesn't have to be exact, I can't predict what they're going to do. Also, I'm sorry if I'm bouncing on the ball. I'm sitting on a ball, and it's probably not the best thing to sit on when doing a video, but oh well. So basically, yeah, I think I want 100 Pokemon. Let's move on. I think that's a reason anyway. And the next one is a 30 new regional variants. So yeah, we had in Generation 7, if you like it or not, one thing that most fans do agree is that the regional variants were a very good idea, because they give new life to old Pokemon, and you could argue, well, Mega Evolutions did that as well, but they could only give a life to the last stage of the new Pokemon of that evolution line, and also blocking off any future future evolutions to that Pokemon. And obviously 3-stage Pokemon are fine with that, but other Pokemon, that's alright. However, I do feel that 100 new Pokemon is, not 100 new Pokemon, 30 new regional variants is something that I like to see more of. I like also Mega Evolution. I think they do list it down in it somewhere, but yeah, I think 30 is a good amount, and I also do not want to see very many new Kanto ones, if any, to be fair. I love the Kanto Pokemon, but they've been featured a lot, and I feel, you know, they could do with some other Pokemon. I can think of, there's like tons of Johto Pokemon that they haven't touched for years, and yeah, even if they just focus on Johto and stuff, and that's fine. I'm fine with them, like, having some Alolan forms specifically for Generation 8, but then not all of them, if you know what I mean. Like, have, like, Alolan Raichu and Alolan Raticate, but keep Alolan the Cantonia Meowth and, I don't know, Executors, just Cantonia ones. I think they were quite cool, because you know that Pokemon obviously do have other Pokemon from different regions, so it would make sense that not all of them, some of them would be a different form to the others. I think it makes sense anyway. And I do feel it has a chance, because I think they originally did it because it was the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, but people have really liked them, and in Pokemon Let's Go they were one of the only other Pokemons that you can get that isn't from the Kanto region or Meltan and Melmetal. But yeah, I think that's one, and I need to get going with some of these points. But yeah, and one of the new 100 Pokemon I wanted to be an Eevee evolution, maybe even 2. They didn't do 2 last time, they just did 1, but 2-1, I don't mind, I don't care. I love Sylveon, I love all the other ones. They need to do another evolution. So yeah, I think that would be good. Let's move on from that one. It's quite simple to understand. I think all people want that. Hard challenging mode. For like, I think, yeah, basically a challenge mode, like changing difficulty. I'm assuming I wrote for that, and I was meaning for it. And I think definitely a difficulty setting would be great. I think that was probably what I put on the dreams list. But I think this game will be hard, just because Pokemon Let's Go was meant to be for bringing new people in and stuff. So you think the logical step, I know they're gonna argue, well, Pokemon's meant to be for children, but be reality. They know that a lot of teenage and adults have difficulty, and also the old Pokemon games were difficult, and even if they're kids or not, they can learn and work it out, and there are a lot of easier games. So I feel they might go with a challenging game, because Pokemon Let's Go was supposed to be the easy game to bring in new fans, and the next game is going to be the harder one for the more hardcore fans. That's my personal opinion and thoughts on it. I could be very wrong. I probably will be very wrong. But yeah, I think it would be cool if they did do more of a harder and challenging mode, especially if you can change it within like the time game. So like if you got through a really difficult point and stuff, and you want to just miss, because yeah, just toggle the thing, and I think would be great. I don't think that will happen, but you never know. Long story and lots of side quests. Definitely the side quests. I think everyone would want lots of side quests. I like side quests, and they obviously get them more out of the game itself. I know some people will have a bit of disagree with long story. I don't expect I know some people are not going to be happy with the idea, just because Pokemon Sun and Moon did have quite a long story, and people weren't happy because of the amount of cutscenes and stuff. However, a long story doesn't mean to have a lot of cutscenes, but they're going to have to cut down on the tutorials, or just do like a button saying skip the tutorial. Why haven't they done that so far? But yeah, I feel that would be just a little helpful, really. But yeah, I know some people will disagree. They would like just to be quick and they can get to the post-game. And I do want a big post-game as well. I think that might be in the Dream ones, but yeah. But yeah, that's it, really. We all want that. And the next one is compatible as a controller with the Pokeball Plus. You know, all the great Pokemon fans got a Pokeball Plus, and yeah, I'm actually going to just get mine in them. Here it is, and anyway, basically, it's really cool controller. You can obviously take Pokemon in it, lights up, it can make sounds, but I don't expect all the Pokemon to be able to go in it, and it has its own unique sound and stuff, but I like it to at least be controlled as a controller. I don't know if that's likely, but because it's quite expensive, I would like it if it had a bit more, and I think it's quite good. I think it should work, and I like it. What more can I say? I think they should make it compatible, and I think they should try and make it compatible with most, if not all, Pokemon Switch games on the Nintendo Switch, basically. So yeah, that's all I can say about it. The next one I said it's kind of have like a Pokemon. I put Pokemon Go Safari because in my mind I feel Pokemon, even though people don't like the Pokemon Let's Go's, all of them don't like the catching mechanic because of it being Pokemon Go related. I don't honestly really want that for the next main series game. I would like a normal battle system. However, I do feel it's quite similar to the Pokemon Safari, because to be fair, you like throw mud and you throw bait to like try and get the Pokemon to like you and go into the Pokeball and stuff. It's quite similar to Pokemon Go, and I feel, you know, they could just replace it with have like a Safari Zone and just replace it with the Pokemon Go mechanic, but just straight from it. I don't think, just a little area, but it'll be quite cool for the people who did obviously start playing Pokemon Let's Go as their first Pokemon game, and also it does like make some continuity to it. I don't think everyone like that, but it's just a little fun side thing, and it's not like anything major, and that I feel is fine. I understand not everyone will agree with that, but I think I could see Pokemon doing it as advertisement, but it's something that I think obviously will help sell copies and stuff, but it also will not be too massive, and that will spoil the gameplay for the people who don't like that mechanic. I think it can balance out, and also they can not give all the Pokemon experience at all, and it just works as a normal catching Pokemon, and that's it, really. So, you know, I feel it could be fun. Also, could do some shining hunting, and a lot of people do like shining hunting in Pokemon Let's Go. And, okay, next, no random encounters, and also all Pokemon you can follow you or ride on. And this, again, is coming from Pokemon Let's Go in the sense that you can either, no random encounters. I think, despite you, if you don't like it or hate Pokemon Let's Go, or love Pokemon Let's Go, everyone can agree that having no random encounters was amazing. Pokemon, you don't need to put random encounters back in. Please, I'm begging you. Snorlax is begging you as well. That's the only thing. If you're going to change anything and bring anything from Pokemon Let's Go, just no more random encounters. Just see them on the overworld, and then we can battle and catch them. Like, just the rest can stay the same. Just from the old Pokemon games, just keep the no random battle encounters. This is time, and obviously all Pokemon to ride around on or follow you. I'm obviously not expecting them to all be rideable or follow you. I feel just one of the two, just because, a bit like how Pokemon Let's Go also had Pokemon following around you and ride on, and I feel the Nintendo Switch can handle it, and considering it was also in the data of Pokemon Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, Pokemon are considering it, and I'm sure they wanted to do it, it's just that they couldn't do it. So I'm sure if that is the case, now they've got the Switch power, anything can happen, and I'm sure they're going to want to do that, basically. And yeah, so I feel, yeah, Pokemon, keep them, let them stay out of the Pokeball, especially if you're not having random encounters anymore, then you have even the assets and stuff. Yeah, let's get moving on to okay, the last one was actually transfer all Pokemon from Pokemon Bank to Generation 8. I'm basically saying older generations haven't been, we haven't been able to transfer them forward into Pokemon Let's Go and stuff, and that's fine. I don't mind them not being able to transfer forward. However, I do want them to be able to be at least a way to transfer them forward into Pokemon Generation 8, either with a Pokemon Bank, or obviously just having another, like, alternative version. I think the Pokemon Bank system works. I just have a slight worry that it's going to be cut off at some point, because if the internet goes down for the 3DS, and then I don't know, maybe they might disband it and stuff. I want there to be a way that they can permanently be able to transfer Pokemon from the Switch, from the 3DS to the Switch, maybe even backwards, but obviously just only allowing Pokemon that you can have in the other games. I don't mind, just keep it alive, and also, yeah, I will be happy. And if you are going to, at some point, decide you're going to cut off the internet, make sure Pokemon Bank is going to still be working, and maybe even free. I don't mind if it isn't paid, but if you want it paid, I'm fine, but as long as I can still get my Pokemon, I'm fine. So, yeah. I think I'll be warned about it before then, though, and I think it's still a while, because they're still throwing out 3DS games for whatever reason. I have no idea why. So that's all the reality ones. Let's move on to the dream ones that I don't think will happen, and I wouldn't recommend you assuming any of these will happen either. Some of them will be probably slightly more likely, but I feel the reality ones we've gone through. I feel that's what I think they're going to do. And these are the ones I just don't think will happen, but I love it anyway. And the first one is open world. There have been rumours, and Pokemon know that people want an open world Pokemon game, but I don't think it's going to happen. I love it if it did, but I really don't. So I wouldn't get your hopes too high on that one. Based in the UK, because I'm from the UK, I would think it's quite obvious that I would want a Pokemon region based where I live. And the UK has amazing places, so I don't know, mind if it's Generation 8, Generation 9, or 10, or 20. I want a Pokemon region based on the UK, and I know that a lot of people have been wanting that for a while, and also there's been a lot of rumours. Not sure if I can believe any of them or not, but I like to say that if they're right, wrong, I don't care. I just want a Pokemon region in the UK. I think I've made that clear now. Go to a second region. I think everyone wants that. I doubt that'll happen at all. It's probably one of the least likeliest out of all of them. I think an open world is more likely than that. But and if it was one, it would be Kanto or something like that, because Kanto's easy to shrink because it's a small region. Then no, they might think probably not Kanto just because of Let's Go sales. However, I like Kalos just because, again, going back to the UK region, and because obviously Kalos is based off France, and France and the UK are quite close to each other. As well as that, I felt X and Y, great games as they were, they needed a third version, but Pokemon didn't bother to release a third version. But yeah, I like a second region, everyone does. Let's move on. Branching paths. If they're not going to do a open world game, at least do like different routes from, like, instead of have to go to Route 1 and then Route 2 and then Route 3, then maybe instead like go Route 1 to Route 12 to then Route 9 to Route 5 to Route 20, I don't know, but I feel that they could, instead of doing like unspecific order, or you can do like the gyms in different order and stuff. Not like massively different, but like just specific games in different areas and stuff. I just like something a little bit more open. I love a big story, and I feel they can do it in a more open environment. But Pokemon haven't even tried to attempt it yet, so let's be honest. They're not going to do that, but I'm hoping for the best. And anyway, have a massive post-game. Do I need to say more? Pokemon, all fans like a big post-game, and especially if you can do it just in your own time and stuff, just because I do feel that it will help the people who don't really want to go through a big story. You can definitely have can just experience the post-game when they want to, and but mainly focus on the competitive battles. And yeah, I think that basically a big post game will please everyone, myself included. I don't think it's going to happen though, because Pokemon haven't done one since Generation 2. But anyway, oh yeah, difficulty setting, I've talked about that. I'm going to move on from that. 10 new Megas. Reason I don't think the Megas are going to happen, they haven't done it for a while, then the Pokemon Let's Go did have some, so I feel it is definitely a possibility, it's one of the more likelier ones. I feel like this region is going to be like the deciding point if we're going to have any more Megas until X and Y remakes, so we'll see. I think there will be new Megas in X and Y remakes. There is no chance they're not going to do that. I'm going to say, I'll say 50%. Okay, I say mean rival. I wouldn't put it necessarily like that. I mean like a more of a classical rival, like Blue or Silver. Yeah, just ones that seem like they're not very nice people. You want to beat them down. You want them to be annoying. They want you to bully you. And they want to you want to beat them up with your own Pokemon and make them feel bad about themselves. Those type of rivals, not the ones say, oh dear, I lost. Thank you very much for beating me. I love you beating me. Here you go, 1 million rare candies, and off they go. I don't want one like that. I want one that's a bit more tough. Even, in fact, Gladion, even though he's, I would consider him a rival, and he's actually probably one of the best rivals we've had since Generation 2, in my opinion. And, okay, there were some good rivals. I think Wally wasn't too bad. Some of the black and white ones are quite intriguing. And there were quite a few good ones. But a lot of them have been not as good as some of the more older, more original rivals, but I'm slightly thinking Pokemon aren't going to go for that route. I'm just thinking they're going to go with clones of Hal. So anyway, let's go on to the next one, and it says, oh, good mystical Pokemon event. Yeah, let's be fair, Pokemon haven't done any good ones for a while. I think the best one in recent years has been Meltan, and yeah, I think Meltan has had quite just this exciting build-up around him, and okay, not everyone, he's probably not the best mystical Pokemon just be on his backstory or anything, but how you got him, he was really quite exciting, and you did feel like you were challenging yourself on doing it, and I still haven't got mine yet. I'm hoping to get it this Friday, but yeah, getting, well, Melmetal at least, I mean, but I do feel that, yeah, I feel Meltan's probably the best Pokemon we've had for, mystical Pokemon we've had for ages, just because it's challenging, and I feel they could do something a bit similar to that. They could, like, say, not necessarily connectivity with another game for money reasons, but, like, do events inside the game that maybe excites you. A bit like some of the more, like, Generation 4 ones, and yeah, Generation 4 has some of them, even though I wasn't a Pokemon fan at the time, has some of the best events out there, and yeah, Generation 3 also had some good ones, I think. I wasn't around as a Pokemon fan at that point, and even Generation 5, I do remember a few of them. I didn't get them, but I do remember a few of them, and they were they were alright. No, they weren't too bad. I know some of the people say that Generation 4 was probably the max, and it is the max, but I feel the best. But Generation 5, again, it's not too bad. But Generation 6 onwards have just really low down. Actually, Generation 6, yeah, they weren't good, but they are nothing compared to Generation 7, when they just decided to hand them out, giving no backstory. Well, at least Generation 6, they did give them a little bit of backstory when they, like, Diancie, they did talk to you and stuff, and you could find these little vents around, but, yeah, even then, they were still not that good, and I would, like, just go back to the old days when people loved Generation 4 events, and just do something like that. Or just do something just do something a bit more interesting. You could do something like amount of time when you're just going around collecting something and then you win a reward of a mystical Pokemon or something. I don't know. And these feel like you're challenging yourself. And to be fair, and I do feel that the excuse on, like, younger people will not be able to find the mystical Pokemon and stuff, it's ridiculous. You could just, like, get an arrow pointing to the right direction, or get the postman to, instead of being a postman, just him going to, saying, you get a flying ticket, I'm going to take you to an airport, and you fly off to a plane, and you follow, like, a pathway, and you could... And that gives a bit of backstory, or you can just avoid it if you want to, and then just go and catch Pokemon. That's what you could do. It's not too difficult. It's a ridiculous excuse, or I think they're just being lazy, to be honest. And also the last thing is, okay, no brand new gimmick involved with battling, or really, okay. Basically, when I mean the no brand new gimmick, the last generation we had Zed Crystals. The generation before we had Mega Evolutions. I like both of these. I think Mega Evolutions are really cool and amazing, and Zed Crystals, they're great. They're not as cool, but they definitely make Pokemon feel a bit more like Pokemon feel stronger and stuff, and I think they're quite cool. However, I don't want this generation to have a new gimmick like that. I feel that they can just focus to the ones that they've already made and just try and expand on those ones more, or leave them if you want to, but I don't want them to just keep shoving in new gimmicks and stuff and then ditching them for the next generation. It's just not, I just don't feel the point. I like them to focus on the ones that they have made and expand them more. That's my personal opinion. In my reality, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to just add a new gimmick that's even more gimmicky. And also, I'd like to just say, when I mean new gimmicks and stuff, and I'm also not saying they're bad or anything, because a lot of them are good. And also, I wouldn't mind, like, things like outside of battling, like, I guess, like, Pokemon contests or things like that. I like those. I want more of those. I just don't want any gimmicks as in things that just make just to advertise it, really, and not actually be anything different from the last new gimmicks they've been creating for the last few months. But yeah, that's all I can really say. Thank you for watching. I think that's all of them. I hope you would like them. You can agree, disagree, it's up to you. There are probably a few things I don't want to happen, and I don't know when Generation 8 is going to be revealed, but I'm hoping for the best. It's going to be soon. So stay tuned to find out more. Hopefully